friends. We about to get real personal. Alright. So spring, summer's here, right? Are all of us here from the Midwest? Yeah. So it's not just me that goes outside and sits on the porch when there's tornado sirens and just watches, right? Alright, cool. Kinfolk. Like last night, when the storms rolled through, this loud thunder hit, I was like, holy shit, So I look at my phone and it says, thunderstorm watch. And I go to the window, I'm like, yep, that's a thunderstorm I'm watching. I guess it is better than winter, because I smoke cigarettes, I smoke weed, so I spend a lot of time outside smoking. Come in, you gotta do the Mr. Miyagi hands, especially before you go take a pee. And I'll tell you what, those work because every time I get a boner. Every time. Swamp ass season is on the way. You guys familiar with that? Hell yeah. The three hairiest places on my body is my head, my pubes, and my crack. Okay? I'm not worried about going bald. Alright? I pretty much carry a toupee around with me. Okay? But I feel like you're not a real man if you don't have a hairy crack. Okay? I'm sorry, I did have a friend tell me one time that, she's like, well, you can get it waxed, right? And just that scene from the 40-Year-Old Virgin when he's getting his chest waxed, that just started playing in my head. And I say some off-the-wall shit just like he does, even when I'm not getting paid. Okay? So, it's coming up on that time of year where the two things that I do not fuck with are really coming back, and that's bugs and birds. Okay? Starting to see spiders. Now look, I'm not afraid of spiders. Anybody here afraid of spiders?
Yes.
Yeah, look, I'm not afraid of spiders if I can tell what it is. If I can't tell what it is, it's a matter of self-preservation. And in this instance only, I'm the bigger one. I win. So the house that I'm living in, I'm in a room at a house right now, and so it's kind of an old house, and they haven't had the cleanest tenants sometimes, so there is a little bit of a roach problem. Listen, I didn't break it, they're already there, okay? But I found out an interesting fact about roaches. Did you know that they find us disgusting? Like, if you touch one, it immediately, runs away to go clean itself. So, I figured out a way to get rid of them. I just started touching every single one of them I could find. To the point where they're turning around going, no means no! I caught them having court, and one of them was showing on a teddy bear where I touched it. Okay? No, the other thing, I don't fuck with wasps. I do not fuck with wasps, okay? If you believe in the Bible and all that, you cannot convince me that Noah willingly took two of them motherfuckers on the ark. Okay? They serve no purpose other than to be assholes. I've been stung twice in my life. The first time was when I was younger and I was outside playing basketball. I had one of those adjustable hoops and they had hollow tubes on it. Wasps like to build their nests in those. I'm out there, trying to be White Iverson, and yes, this was before Post Malone ever was a thing. I shot the basketball, I missed. I was trying to get it before it went out the street, and apparently I pissed one of them off, and it stung me right next to the collarbone. Needless to say, I went inside and got the wasp spray, and I drenched every inch of that basketball goal. It killed every single one for the rest of the year. But no, the other time I got stung was inside, in the basement of my dad's house. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up to go to work, and next thing I know, I get stung. You're not expecting a wasp thing at 4 o'clock in the morning under the covers of the couch. You're thinking that's a spider or whatever. No, this motherfucker decided to just climb in bed with me, wanted to spoon and shit. They got mad when I rolled over on top of it. Fucking assholes. Anyway, who here doesn't think birds are real? We have any of those? Okay, look. I do not fuck with birds either. Okay, and it starts with when I was a little kid. My mom showed me that movie, The Birds, from like the 1960s. Some of you guys may have seen it. Well, I myself had an experience just like that. Okay, a few years ago, I was living at my grandmother's, and in summertime, I'm out mowing her grass. Not because I'm a good grandson, but because she wasn't charging me rent. Okay? But anyway, I'm on this rider. I'm mowing in between her house and the neighbors. And I start getting dive bombed by this little bird. So I'm thinking, okay, it has a nest, right? So I'm moving along. This little fucker's still dive bombing me as I'm moving through the yard away from it. So, eventually I get pissed. I stop the mower, I go in, I grab the BB gun. I got it laying across my lap. I'm shirtless. I'm riding around like, Hank Hill, like a trailer park Hank Hill on crack. Okay? Anyway, this motherfucker keeps harassing me. So, it lands on one of the power cord wires in the other neighbor's house. So I pump it up a couple times. I aim, pop. I miss. This bird is just standing there like, bitch. So I pump it up a few more times. Boom, miss again. Now I know it's starting to taunt me, right? So I pump it up again. This time I don't aim. I just Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator, style, just ready. Boom. Hit it, knock it out of flapping around in the yard and everything. I'm like, all right, look, don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Am I right? So I get back on the mower, I'm going about my business. I get the yard almost all the way done. This little fucker's back from the dead. Okay, now it's on the power cord in my grandma's yard. So I take the BB gun and I pump it up to fuck your life. Okay? Like one more pump and it would have exploded. Okay? And I already knew I was a good shot. I took out a possum in a tree a few years before that. So I aimed and I hit this motherfucker. It dropped, right? So it's in the yard. I get done. I put the mower up. As a matter of fact, I go to an open mic that night. I come back. This motherfucker's up on the wire again, but now it's got 6 black crows with it. Like it done brought his family. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's also that time of year where high school graduation is happening. Anybody have kids graduating high school? All right, cool. Me neither. I don't have any kids. But I graduated over 20 years ago, right? And somehow my friends that have kids, every year their kids are graduating and they all look older than me. Every year. It's crazy. It got me thinking about back when I was in high school. Anybody here ever skipped class? I would say you fucking liars. You fucking liars. Your parents aren't here, okay? Anyway, so the high school I went to for 2 years. I went 10th grade and 12th grade. So not only did I skip class, but I also skipped a year, okay? But I only skipped in 10th grade. First time, I got caught. Okay, my English teacher called my dad. I also had one of my friends call the office pretending to be my dad. I rode the bus. So when I come walking back to school at the end of the I only skipped the last period, and I see my dad's truck parked in front of the school. You damn well knew I didn't get on that bus. I just ate that shit like a man, right? And the second time this happened, I went to the same buddy's house. His name was John. And we went with a couple of girls. Anyway, John decided he wanted to get his nose pierced. Okay? Now, Heather is one of the girls, and she's like, okay, what do you have in the kitchen? He's like, well, I got some carrots down there. She comes back with a full-size carrot. Okay, cleaned and sanitized and then shoves it up his nose. Right here in the gun. Takes one of those little sewing needles, shoves it through his nose, into the carrot, takes it out, puts it, takes the carrot out, gets the ring in, it was a successful piercing. Okay? Well, the very next week, I didn't go this time, but John decided he wanted to get his nipples pierced. Okay? You guys ever seen the old school like tongs and you grab the cord on the cob out of, kind of, yeah. So they use those and apparently grasped his nipple, stretched it out. Same principle, shoved the pin through and everything. Well, only one of the nipples was successful. The other one got severely infected and he was walking around like this, trying to not let his shirt tear for about a week. Okay? Yeah. That was a crazy shit as a kid. Now, I saw something on Facebook the other day that said something to the effect of, when you're young, you look like your parents. When you die, you look like your decisions. When I shave and get a haircut, I look like I can catch a predator. Yeah. Now, both of my parents have passed away. Lori, thank you for advising me on the cremation because my mom is sitting in my dad's storage unit right now, probably in brick form. So, yeah, fucking probate's taking forever. No, both of my parents definitely look like their decisions when they died. Okay. Now, look, I'm a millennial. Okay, millennials, Gen Zs, Gen X rather. Yeah, cool. So I'm a latchkey kid. All right, both of my parents weren't. I basically fended for myself. Like I still remember climbing up, like onto the chair, counters to get bowls and shit. I mean, I still do that. I do have a cushion in my driver's seat of my car. It's not so I can see over the steering wheel, okay? It's because I'm getting older. It's for my back. The phone book underneath it. That's so I can see over it. I'm that height where the sun visor doesn't always work. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm coming up 3 years clean from cocaine. Thank you. So if anybody has any, the bathroom is right in there. No, I'm just playing. I dropped the drug, but I kept the body. You might say I was on the original Ozempic, right? I paid 3 times the price, but I got 3 times the results. I do miss the way it smells, though. Yeah, it was a cheap joke. No, the things I don't miss about it, though, are, one is the constant paranoia, okay? Because, look, I watch a lot of true crime, like, a lot, like an uncomfortable amount. Like, I don't know if it's fascination or preparation at this point, okay? I do know that if I were to become one, I would have to lure the people to where I'm going to leave them, because there's just no fucking way I'm moving a body by myself. You know what I mean? But have you guys ever noticed, though, that the only 2 groups of people that ever get their full names said are serial killers and children who are in trouble? Yeah? Like, okay, so I always knew I was in trouble with my mom when she said my full name, okay? My full name is actually Jason Michael Vassar. I go by Jay because it's short and simple, just like me, okay? Another cheap joke, thank you. No, but somewhere around 6th grade, my mom, I guess, decided to change my middle name because then I became Jason motherfucking Vassar. Yeah. The other thing I don't miss about cocaine is cocaine dick. Okay? And if you don't know what that is, I'll explain it real quick. It's easy. It's like having a disgruntled employee. It's like, yeah, I'll show up and I am not going to work. Right? Like, you remember the old glass ketchup bottles? The ones where you just shake it, nothing comes out? Yeah. That is what cocaine dick is. I kind of always knew I was going to be a weed smoker. So when my mom left my dad, she first dated a guy who went by the name of Harley. And at some point they were living in a house together, and Harley used to grow weed in a room, okay? Nothing like what we have today, but not bad for homegrown shit. But we also had an iguana, okay? And this iguana smoked weed. Once again, right-handed guy, I'm not making this up. What Harley would do is Harley would roll a joint, he'd light it up, he'd go over to the tank, lift the top, blow it in the iguana's face, do it a couple times, The iguana would open its mouth, close its eyes. You would set it gently on the bottom. The iguana would close its mouth, inhale, and then, okay, how many of y'all had a weed-smoking iguana? Fuck you. That shit is cool. So, alright, wow, I've been up here for a while, okay. So, interesting fact about me is I have a rare immune deficiency. It's a rare form of anemia. And I have to get a treatment once a month. Okay, as a matter of fact, I just got one last week. And I'm sitting there, and the machine starts beeping, and that is our medicine. So the nurse comes in, swaps it out, and then she takes a tube and she starts shaking it. Yes. My reaction to what are you doing that for? And she goes, well, you see how it's not dripping? Sometimes if you shake it, I said, say no more. I get it. Usually I have to shake it to get it to stop dripping. Am I right, fellas? But I felt it was my duty as a man to explain the rules to her, right? If you shake it more than 3 times, you're playing with it, right? Yeah. See? I heard that she transferred departments. I don't know if it's related. Now, I'm getting older, so I'm drinking more water, okay? So I'm not poor man speedballing anymore. And that's basically just smoking weed and drinking Red Bull, because I can't afford heroin and meth, okay? Now I decided to swap out the caffeine and sugar for microplastics. Yeah. Now, since I am getting older and I'm peeing, drinking more water, I'm sitting down to pee more now. Okay? Because once you get older, not you guys, but your shit is set on shuffle. Okay? You never know. Sometimes it's the stream, sometimes it's the fucking forked tongue, sometimes it's the sprinkler. You never know. Plus, once you get older, taking a pee is a lot like climbing a ladder. You need 3 points of contact. Now, I'll kind of end on in this area here. I actually will be turning 40 in July. I know I definitely don't sound like it. I do sound like a 12-year-old who smokes 3 packs a day. But that's, it's fine. You know how they say 40 is the new 30, 30 is the new 20, etc., blah, blah, blah. But that's all fine and good. All I know is that 9 p.m. is the new midnight. You know what I mean? Now, this year when I blow out the candles, I'm only making one wish. It's to finally finish puberty. Yeah. Now, I do want to go to Worlds of Fun this year. I do want to go to Worlds of Fun this year on my birthday because I am finally tall enough to ride all the rides. We made it! Now, I went to Walmart recently to pick up an inhaler, and I had to pick up some other stuff. Like, my doctor told me I should be taking multivitamins now, so, naturally I grabbed Flintstones. Yeah, and then, I grabbed some pimple patches, some nasal spray, had to pick up some toilet paper. I can't buy cheap toilet paper anymore, just nothing goes in there, not even my own finger, okay? Plus, I'm tired of falling asleep, jerking off, waking up with a little, top hat. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. I got carpal tunnel too. I have the carpal tunnel in both hands. Not the weird gang sign kind, but the permanent stranger kind. I think that's why I fall asleep so much doing it. Because I had to get some new socks and new underwear. Now here's the thing about buying clothes for me is from the waist up, I buy men's. From the waist down, I buy kids. And I don't have kids. So I'm in the kids' underwear and socks section, looking at little boys' underwear by myself. It probably didn't help that I had my hand down my pants too. I don't know. I had to pick up some condoms because, yes, I am still in the game. But here's the thing, man. I hate wearing socks. Wearing socks for me is like most guys wearing condoms. Okay, I do not like the way it feels. You know, as a matter of fact, I am not wearing socks right now. But I am wearing a condom. Don't ask me how. So, it took me a while to hit my hoe phase, but I'm finally there. Okay? A lot of it, I think, is because, ladies, you can vouch for this, all right? There are two different kinds of cute, right? There's sexy cute, and there's baby cute. Okay? And nobody wants to fuck the baby cute. Well, some people do, but their names are on lists, and those lists are redacted. Okay? I'll leave you on this. I'm just happy that the only blue pill I have to take is a Mucinex. Oddly enough, it does the same thing to cum as it does to mucus. It makes it clear and easy to come out. I'm Trey Vassar, you guys. You guys have been a great audience.